February 24 this year marks 1 year of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And MGN's Krishna sat with Ukrainian Ambassador to Indonesia, Excellency Ambassador Vasyl Hamianin, to talk further about it.
And this is the first part of the interview.
February 24th, 2023 marks 1 year since the start of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. To talk more about this, I'm joined by Ukraine's ambassador to Indonesia, His Excellency Ambassador Vasyl Hamianin. Mr. Ambassador, thank you so much for speaking with MGN.
It's my honor every time. Glad to see you here.
Right. Thank you so much. Mr. Ambassador, as I mentioned, the 24th of February 2023 marks 1 year since the start of the conflict. Now, last year, there were many attempts at peace talks, unsuccessful so far. Talk to us about the obstacles and challenges in reaching peace and an end to the conflict.
Well, today is exactly the 1 year of the full-scale invasion, but it's the 9 years already of the war against Ukraine, because Russian Federation started war 9 years ago, also in February, by occupying Crimea and all. And I see today Indonesian skies cries for that. It's yeah, we have this symbolic meaning on that. Skies cry for the people killed, for the people crying, for the people died. As for the negotiations and whatever peaceful process, I would say that it's important to understand not just that someone wants to talk, but what are the demands, what are the conditions. So the conditions of Russian Federation has been stop where we are and start talking. The condition of Ukraine is leave my country. So basically that's it. We have to liberate all our territories. Only after that we can talk like neighbors. However, it's not easy to talk with a neighbor like that, but the talks can be possible after that. Otherwise, it will be just a little example. Since 2014, we have two formats of talks, two formats. Minsk agreements and Normandy format. So 8 years of talks. What is the result? Full-scale aggression. So basically, I don't see any possibility to actually talk with Russia about ceasefire, about any peaceful agreements, because what they do, they always use this time to regroup, to produce more weapons and then attack again. This has been happening last year.
Right, so in that sense, do you see the conflict sort of prolonging for a longer period of time? As you said, talks right now, seemingly not possible.
Well, the war will last as long as it must. Now, it's not the decision of my president, it's not the decision of my generals and the government, it's the decision of Ukrainian people. The war will last until the last Russian soldier, occupant, invader remains on my land. It will include Crimea, it will include Donbass, all of it. So we are very highly motivated, people are not afraid, people are feeling on the rise of fighting again, of confronting the strong enemy, and we see them losing. We see them being defeated. So through the last year, you could see how many times they retreated from the position they occupied already, and how many times they retreated from the strongholds they seized some time before. Now it's a matter of time and matter of weapons only. So yeah, the decision of every Ukrainian, I would say not every Ukrainian, but 90+% of Ukrainians feel like that.
Right. From the Russian side, there is a sort of an argument or a belief that Ukraine is not willing to negotiate at all. Is Ukraine willing to negotiate, and are there any compromises that Ukraine could make to reach a peaceful solution, Mr. Ambassador?
Okay, during the last year, we've been trying to negotiate with Russia many times. It was in on the Belarus border, it was in Turkey, and a couple of times, yeah. And what is the result? What is the result? They didn't even stop shelling our cities and towns. they never stopped launching missiles on our civilians. Never. So people who say they want to talk, people who say they want to negotiate and loving peace and going back to stability and all, let's see what they do, because in many clever books and wise books it says that don't listen what they say, see what they do. This is important, because what they do is outrageous, and it just confirms they don't want to talk. And there was a compromise. There was a compromise in the beginning of the aggression, full-scale aggression. There was, but after the retreat from the northern parts of Kiev region, no compromises could be possibly accepted, because the scale of atrocities committed by Russian army, it's outrageous. It's we could only as historian, I could only think about like Second World War, about concentration camp and torturing rooms for Jews or something. Yeah, so we just imagine people under occupation and how they feel, because every time we liberate every city, every town, every village, we find mass graves, we find torture rooms, torture chambers, we find bodies and everything. So it's just not human of us to leave these people there, because they are waiting